Hello, everybody. Welcome back to 10 Minute... Freya. The 10 Minute Reviews. This is Freya. I'm Jason. And we're bringing you today's video. As always, guys, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We're just a small little family channel. Me, the fuzzy one, the wife. Just love to read, love to talk about books, and we would appreciate any support you guys might want to give us. Otherwise, look at the links down below for links to today's book that we talk about, any other applicable links, plus our Amazon affiliate links. We need traffic through there to help us stay with that program. Thank you to our patrons, by the way. And at least links down below for those places that allow me to post links. There's a couple places that don't let us. So for today, I want to talk about a new book. Just recently came out, or at least I just recently became aware of it, but I believe it just recently came out. And it's an author I haven't talked about in the past. And I'm actually going to talk about a couple of his books this month. So I want to talk about Tim Akers in his book, Wraithbound. It's a really interesting book. It's a pretty cool book. As always, I'm going to talk about four things. I'm going to talk about the world, the character, the plot, and the writing style. And just like I said, guys, just overall, it's a really cool book. It's a really fascinating book. Now, as far as the world goes, we're talking fantasy. This is fantasy, fantasy-esque. We're in the swords and sorcery type of world, but there are guns. So this almost is more like almost closer to a steampunk kind of thing. I mean, there are guns. They're flintlock level. Oftentimes they work in a little bit of magic into them, magic bullets, especially things along those lines. There's airships. That's their primary way of travel because of how dangerous the world itself is. So we're in this fantasy world. There's monsters, of course, but I haven't come across any I didn't come across any cat people or anything like that. It's basically humans, and then it's monsters. Now, this world is broken up. You've got your cities, and these cities are protected by, or these towns, villages, some are cities, but mostly towns, villages, that are protected by wards that keep out the chaos. It's basically the wastelands outside. Occasionally, they have a breach, and then demons come through. Demons or wraiths, and they come through and cause death, destruction, all that. The country, the empire itself, protects with what they call law binders, and binders are what this really wraps around. Hence the name Wraithbound. But these binders are interesting because they bind spirits. Basically, the main character's father, for instance, was what they call a storm binder, and he bound a spirit to his soul, and it was a storm spirit to his soul, so he was able to then utilize magic via the storm spirit that could control storms, basically. So he was basically a storm mage or a weather mage, but due to this storm spirit that is bound to him. There are angels. Lawbinders are mostly bound to angels. There are fiend binders and wraith binders that are basically evil. So then, of course, storm binders, fire binders, earth binders, stuff along those lines. So it's very interesting because it's a mix of your typical fantasy plus your steampunk kind of thing with your airships and your guns and stuff like that. And then you've got this just intriguing little world. It's kind of broken up. Now, the main character's name is Ray or Rael, but he goes by Ray, and he's a child. He's an older child. We're not talking, an infant or a toddler or anything like that. And he's definitely up there. I think at this point, once the book really starts taking off, I think he's somewhere in the range of late teens, maybe early 20s, but I believe he's late teens, and definitely in over his head. Now, his father was a stormbinder. The book starts off with a very brief, almost history in a way of the family, because Ray and his sister, and then his parents, his father was the stormbinder, but got into some form of trouble, and they had to run, and they had to hide. And throughout what occurs next, he is a almost like an unknown, like a feral or rogue binder is what he is. So he has to hide the fact that he is a binder. He won't allow his son to become one. He does teach him about it, but does not allow him to become a binder, does not want him to bind any spirits to his own soul, so he's therefore also not able to go to the academy, which is where all the binders have to go. If they are able to work magic, able to bind spirits to their souls, They have to go to this academy basically, and that makes them legal. If they don't do that, then they are feral. They're untrained, and they're basically unregistered. But the lawbinders are very, very, very good at their jobs. But with what, and now we're going to get into the plot a little bit. So basically, Ray is kind of on the run because we have this incident that occurs that's a hidden incident. We don't know what happens. His father just comes home with a broken blade because all binders have a spirit blade, but with a broken blade. It takes the family. We got to run now, and takes them, and they go from being fairly wealthy and working for the local lord to being farmers and hiding. Now Ray does not, of course, like this. They're not really cut out to be farmers. Excuse me. So he's not a big fan of this, and he keeps trying to learn magic from his father. He gets an education on it, but his father doesn't want him to become a binder. He ends up attempting to bind a spirit himself, and tries to utilize this broken blade that his father had kept hidden. So from there, and Ray's not a criminal, but he's borderline. He basically he runs with the bad boys. He runs with the local street gangs, and that's how he tries to make a little bit of extra money. Now, something happens. They're not entirely certain exactly what happens at first, but his family is killed. His farm is burned, and he is hunted. He's being hunted by a high mage, a master mage. Master mage that has at least one bound spirit, if not multiple bound spirits to his soul, and has the training and the experience to use them. He also comes across wraithbinders and fiendbinders, which are very, very evil, and the occasional ally, although oftentimes they're allies of convenience. And that is the primary plot of this book. And this is the first book in the series. I believe it's the Stormbinder Saga or something along those lines, but it's the first book in the series. And the primary plot is basically Ray running. Ray and his sister both running, fighting, and attempting to find out more about what is going on and why their family is being hunted, why their family was killed, and what all the connections are to the past and these things that have been going on up to this point that have caused all of this. So it's kind of a little bit of back and forth. Now they do end up meeting another binder. He's a life binder, I believe, and there are things like fairies and spirits and elves and stuff like that. They don't actually meet any, but they are talked about. And this life binder is kind of mysterious, but he helps Ray out. He helps Ray out, and he helps him escape, and starts to kind of teach him a little bit. There's definitely a lot of questions here, including who is this stranger? Why are they helping? Why are they also being hunted? And how do they seem to know so much? They seem to know so much. They're able to deal with lawbinders and threaten them or negotiate with them. So there's definitely some questions there. As far as the writing style goes, guys, this is a pretty cool book. This was a fun little read. The only thing I was not a fan of, to be honest, I actually liked the side character better than I liked the main character. I like this mysterious stranger that he came across better than I like Ray and his sister. They are written as children, especially the sister. Sister's a little bit younger, but they are written as children, and they act as foolish children, and it's funny because I know that as children we all made our own mistakes when we were kids, but it's just hard to believe that we were that foolish. But it's not that out of the realm of possibility. He doesn't do truly stupid decisions. He does emotional decisions, and they kind of make sense. But I'm just not a fan of it. I really like the one that kind of helps them out a lot more. But overall, guys, it was a fun book. It was a blast. And after you guys hit the like and subscribe buttons, you should check it out. Definitely want to check out new authors and new books, so just check the links down below. I'll catch you guys next time.